Which sentence accurately describes the ideas of scientists from 500 years ago? Would it be scientists believe the world is flat, or scientists believed the world is flat? It would be the second one. Scientists believed the world is flat. The past simple. Because this was an idea people believed was true in the past, but people no longer believe it's true now. Welcome to my advanced past simple lesson. In this lesson, we will be looking at using the past simple for ideas that people believed in the past but are no longer believed to be true, for confirming beliefs, and hypothetical present or future. Let's start with ideas no longer true. So use the past simple for ideas that were true in the past but are no longer believed to be true. For example, they thought homework was not important until they got their marks. Were you like this as a child? You believed that homework in general was not important, then you realised you needed to study more in order to get better marks, so your belief changed. So to talk about your previous belief, use the past simple, they thought. Also with the next one, I imagined I'd like a holiday in a snowy place, but now I prefer hot places. So maybe I had this belief in the past, I'd love to go on holiday in the snow. Then perhaps I did it and I felt like this cat, very cold. And now my idea has changed. Now I prefer something else. So to speak about what I used to believe, use that past simple. Okay, now let's practice using the past simple for this purpose. Use the verb in brackets, so that's believe, thought and thought, to complete the sentences. So change the verb and put it into the gaps, but use either the present simple or the past simple to do that. Think about it now, pause the video if you need more time, and then restart the video to see the answers. Okay, let's go through the answers now. Until the 1960s, people believed smoking did not cause health problems. So before the 1960s, people used to smoke cigarettes and they thought it was fine. Then there were all kinds of studies done on the damage that smoking does to your lungs, and then the beliefs changed. So use the past simple to refer to the old beliefs that are no longer believed. People believe Mars is a planet. Now, people still believe that now, so use the present simple. In the last one, some teachers thought English should be spoken with a British accent. Fortunately, few think this now. Now, I'm being generally true here. It's generally true that teachers don't think it now. In general, teachers' beliefs about this were all in the past, and that's why I've used the past simple here. Some teachers thought, because this was what many people thought a long time ago. People should speak English with a British accent. But now it's accepted that any accent around the world, because we're in an internationalised globe, that English can be spoke with various different accents. You've just got to follow certain rules to fit in with everyone else with your English. So few think this now because that's the present situation. Is there anything you believed in the past but no longer believe? Perhaps complete this sentence. When I was younger, I believed, fill in the gap. Now I believe, and fill in the next gap too. You could put your sentence in the comments and I'll give you some feedback on it. Let's move on to the next part of the lesson. And for this part, which sentence correctly describes the person's thoughts? Look at the first picture. Here's what someone thinks. It's harder to climb Mount Everest than I thought. Now, the second picture is part of the River Nile in Africa. And someone thinks it's easier to swim across the River Nile than I think. But one of these sentences has a mistake. Which one is correct? Which one is wrong? Well, the one that's correct is the first one. It's harder to climb Mount Everest than I thought. The second one has a mistake. It's easier to swim across the River Nile. It shouldn't be than I think, it should be than I thought. Now, why is this? So this is why. When comparing previously held beliefs with present results, use the past simple. Let me show you first of all the middle example at the bottom about the stadium. The stadium is bigger than I thought. Notice the stadium is bigger. That's present simple because you're describing something that's permanently true. But before you saw it, you had a different belief. I thought. The stadium is bigger than I thought. My thinking was, until the moment I saw the stadium, my thinking was that it would be smaller. But it was actually bigger. It is actually bigger. So even though we use the present simple in the first part, the stadium is bigger, use the past simple in the second part to show that your thoughts were different before you found out. It doesn't matter whether it's the present simple or the past simple in the result part. So in the first example, I did better in the race than I expected. This is all in the past. I expected one result. The result was different, but the result was also in the past. Now we can use the present simple to refer to generally held beliefs, such as it is harder to be a firefighter than people realise. So this is comparing the truth, it's hard to be a firefighter, with what is generally believed in public than people realise. So here we don't have a realisation that ended. This is an idea which is true in the past, true now, and carries on being true in the future. People generally think one thing, the reality is another thing. Here, use the present simple to describe the thinking. In this exercise, choose the present simple or the past simple. Use what we've just learnt to help you. So first of all, I discovered that there are more words in English than I know or knew about. In the second one, I can play sports better than most people expect or expected. And in the third one, I am getting better results in my exams than my parents anticipate or anticipated. Which one will you choose? Present simple or past simple? Here are the answers. In the first one, use the past simple. I discovered that there are more words in English than I knew about. So here there was a change in the knowledge. I thought one thing. I thought there were fewer words. Then I discovered another thing. I discovered more words. So past simple. The second one is for general ability and people's general ideas. I can play sports better than most people expect. Because we're talking about not one specific thing that happened or one specific revelation, but an ability that stays true in general and a response that will stay true in general. This is what people expected in the past, but will probably be the same expectation in the future. Here, use the present simple. In the last one, I am getting better results in my exams than my parents anticipated. Here there's a change in time. There was a time in the past where the parents anticipated one particular set of results, but the actual result was different. It was better than the idea was. So use the past simple for the last one. Think of something where a present result has been different to your expectations. Use this template to help you. Pause the video to do that and then move on to the final part of the lesson. Tom and Anne are discussing plans. Which word fits the gap? Tom says this: holidays are best in the summer, but I can't get time off work then. Anne says, if you gap time off in the summer, it would be so much easier. So which word could fill the gap? Well, there's a few possibilities, but this is one of them. If you got time off in the summer, it would be so much easier. Now, why did we use got? It's because this is unreal. It's hypothetical. It comes from the verb get, and it's the past simple of get. But we often shift from the present simple to the past simple in time to create unreality in what we're saying. Let's think about it in more detail. This is not a past situation. This is talking about a general situation that may be true in the past, may be true in the present, may be true in the future. So it's a present idea. We're talking about an idea which has some permanence in it. But we use the past simple rather than the present simple to show that it's not real. This is something that cannot be possible because we know that Tom cannot get the time off in the summer. So to acknowledge the fact that it's not real if you got time off in the summer. Past simple because it's not actually possible, it's hypothetical. So to make present or future statements hypothetical, that's imaginary or unreal, use the past simple. It's often combined with the second conditional form that you often learn about in grammar books. Now, this is sometimes used with the past subjunctive. For example, in the first example, I wish I was taller. When we use the verb to be in this unreal way, we can actually say I were instead of I was, one of these exceptions, which we call the subjunctive. In the next one, if you were fitter, you could run a marathon. Or imagine if he knew Italian, he could live in Italy. So all of these situations are hypothetical. They're not real. They contain a hypothetical statement that has the past simple within it. Sometimes we could use modal verb plus infinitive to do that as well in the second part of the clause. So let's look at some examples in our exercise. So again, choose between the present simple or the past simple. So you need to think, is this hypothetical or is this something real? And that will help you choose. So the first one, if only you have more money, or if only you had more money, you could buy a better car. In the second one, it's great that you have money, or it's great that you had money. Now you can buy me a bigger car. And in the third one, imagine if we fly, or imagine if we flew. We wouldn't need a car at all. Which ones do you choose? Here come the answers. So stop the video if you're not ready yet, but here come the answers. If only you had more money, you could buy a better car. So here it's not real. The person does not have the money. If only indicates something that they wish was true but is not. If only you had more money, then you could buy a better car. The person cannot buy a better car at the moment, but they wish that they could. But the second one, it's great that you have money. Now you can buy me a bigger car. So now you can buy me a bigger car indicates that having the money is real. So because this is really true, use the present simple. Then in the last one, imagine if we fly, imagine if we flew. Well, people cannot fly at the moment, so it must be unreal. Think of something that was impossible that you wish was true. And it started like this. I wish I, and then carry on with the past simple to show that it's hypothetical, maybe even the past subjunctive. And to carry on your learning about English grammar, I've got hundreds, even thousands of grammar rules in my course, Perfect English Grammar. If you want to know more, click in the link below this video in the description.